Everyone, welcome back to another video. This week I'm going to be talking about my experience at a PWI, that means predominantly white institution. I attended Western Illinois University from 2012 and I graduated December 2016. And my college experience was different from most because um, I didn't go there all 4 years. My sophomore year, I went to a community college. So, yeah, let's jump right into it. I attended Western Illinois University, located in Macomb, Illinois. Western is a PWI, it's not a HBCU. Um, at the time, our president was a Black president, Jack Thomas, and he was a great college president. He gave Black students, I guess you would say, like influence. He gave them a lot of influence. He pushed them to further their education. A lot of students got their masters and their doctorates just from talking to him. So I thought that was a pretty cool aspect. But let's get right into my experiences and I will take you through each year. So my freshman year, I was 18. I just graduated high school. This is my first time being away from home. And I got linked with a, what do you call it? Someone that like helps you with your schedule. Um, you know what I'm talking about. Someone that helps you with your schedule. I couldn't even think of the word, a guidance counselor. So I got linked with a guidance counselor, and she was the best guidance counselor I have ever had. And now, like I said, my experiences might be different from others, but she helped me pick my classes. She helped me stay on top of my classes. And when I left sophomore year, she still kept in contact with me and helped me pick what classes I should pick at the community college. So then when I come back to Western, everything will be transferable and I wouldn't be lagging behind and I will still be able to graduate with my class. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Um, she was the best. Like I said, she was way better than my high school counselors. And she was a lot better than a lot of my friends' counselors in college because they said their counselors weren't actually guiding them, they were like making them stay longer. So that was a really good aspect. But we want to hear about all like the, I guess, get into the racial stuff. So, at the time when I went to Western from 2012 to December 2016, our our president was Black. His name was Jack Thomas, and he was actually a very good college president, I would say, because he let the Black students be inspired by him and push them to further their education, getting their masters and getting their doctorates. I know so many people that actually were very influenced by him. And I thought that was like a really cool thing because you don't see that often, like college presidents pushing their students. I mean, of course, they're overall going to be like, yeah, let's further your education, let's stay here. But he actually one on one talked to these students and invited these students to his house, which I thought was pretty awesome. So my experience freshman year when I first came in was I was very nervous. You know, I've never lived away from home before, and I thought that this was kind of scary. You know, the first time away from home, I'm an only child, it's just my mom and I, so this was a very big transition for me, and I didn't think that getting involved would be like the best thing to do. I just stayed in my dorm with my friends that lived on my floor and we basically just hung out, went out, and yeah, that was it. I didn't do too well freshman year. I would say that like if you don't get involved your freshman year, it could be really detrimental because I didn't get involved and didn't feel like I belonged to a group. I just felt like I was just another number on campus. Like nobody's gonna come to you and be like, hey, what's going on? Like I said, the only person that did that was my guidance counselor. And that's who I like really appreciate. Like I'm so glad that I had her. So then, you know, sophomore year I decided to stay home, blah, blah, blah. But then when I came back my junior year, it was a whole new ball game. Whole brand new buzz. But anyways, so I came back my junior year. I want to say 2014 to 2015 school year. And it was, like I said, it was way different. I was a little bit older. I knew I had to get involved. And I was just like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start this organization. It's going to be a women's organization, and I'm going to round up a whole bunch of girls and my friends, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this. So I started an org called National Association of Color Women's Clubs. And one of my friends at the time that went to Illinois State University, she helped me start the chapter. And it was a great thing. Like, it really kept us busy. As a charter member, we were up till like after midnight every day planning events, planning how to run the org, and we had never done this before, so it was a pretty cool experience. But I will say, my junior year, things started to shift at the university. They weren't as together. Like I mentioned, my freshman year, it was a big party. I will just say my freshman year, big party. Everyone was integrated together. Everyone was partying. Everyone invited everyone out. Wheeler Block Party, Adams Street, up and down Adams Street were just parties every weekend, every Wednesday to Sunday. Everybody was drinking. Everyone was inviting everybody. It was cool. It was like we were all like in one. And for those of you that don't know, Macomb is in like nowhere town. So for students to be there, you kind of have to be together for it to work. And I didn't experience any racism my freshman year. Um, I don't think I have experienced racism at all there, but some students have. So that's my thing. When I came back my junior year, it was a whole different ballgame. People were not together like they were my freshman year. They're kind of like separated. When people had parties, you can only go if you knew someone there or if you got an invite from the person that lived there. It definitely was not how it was my freshman year. And it was different. And everyone could tell. Like anybody that went to Western 2012 and before knows that Western's changed and things are different now. So that was basically my experiences until I graduated. Everything was just separated and nobody was together. But I'm going to get deeper into why that is. So we have white Greeks and we have black Greeks. Um, I can't really speak on Greek culture because obviously I'm not in Greek life. But what I can say is that I have Greek friends that go to other universities. And when I mention, like, oh, Western's Greek life, they usually like roll their eyes or they say, like, oh, you don't want to, or they say you don't want to join because this XYZ. So, for whatever reasons, Western, I feel like, was not looked at as like huge with Black Greeks. We didn't have houses on campus, but guess who did? White Greeks did. Now, like I said, I can't speak on Greeks, so I don't know why white Greeks had houses. And when I say they had houses, they had big houses. I'm saying big houses, like houses you see in movies, like 9, 10, 11 rooms, like big pillars. Yeah, the white Greeks had definitely, they had money. And I'm not sure if it's because how they ran it or if they were getting money from the school or if their like alumni was bringing money in. I really don't know. Like I said, I wasn't in Greek life, so I can't say, but what I can say is what I saw. And that's what I saw. And that's what everybody sees. Black Greeks, they didn't have that. They had to raise their own money. They had to do bake sales and fundraisers and stuff like that to keep the money flowing, I guess, on top of dues or whatever. So that was definitely an issue. And I know a lot of people felt that way, um, that there was a little bit of rift between Black Greeks and white Greeks, not towards each other, but just how they were treated by the university. So that was that. Um, we did have a, what do you call it? We did have we had a march. And I remember this day specifically. We had a march, Black Lives Matter march. And then we also had, I won't say a sit in or silence, but we came together as one, the Black community, and We laid on the ground. I can't remember who we were getting justice for, but it was definitely for someone that was an unarmed black kid that got shot. And it was all over like social media, the news. There's so many of them. I just can't remember which one it was. But we were trying to like get justice for him. So those things definitely happen on Western's campus. There was a lot of Black Lives Matter movements, and we had BSA, Black Student Association. So a lot of the Black students came together, which I really thought was a good idea because Western is located in Macomb, and Macomb is located in a very country town, very racist. When Obama was reelected in 2012, people were saying that the Ku Klux Klan were riding around shooting guns in Macomb. Now, I was in the dorm, so I didn't hear any of this and I didn't see any of this, but that's just what people say. But I definitely believe it. Macomb is a different town, definitely different. And if you're not from there, you're definitely going to be looked at differently, even if you are a person of color. So I just want to say that. And yeah, so like I said, my junior year, that was the year that like all that stuff happened. The march, Black Lives Matter march, we had a standoff where we lay down and got justice for people that lost their lives. Um, there were a lot of white people there that had the Confederate flag. Yes, they had it on their belts, hats, they had flags in their house, they had it on their trucks, they had it everywhere. And I'm not sure if they what they meant by that. I mean, obviously it's a racist thing. That's what they believe in. But I'm not sure like some people actually like got what that meant. And that meant like something bad for people of color. But there was a lot of that. There was definitely a lot of that. There was not a lot of like how you see nowadays at schools or universities where people are writing like swastika or the N word. I didn't really run into that much. It was basically like you didn't see that on campus, but I'm pretty sure you saw it like in other places. So, okay. So, remember when I was mentioning that I started my own women's organization called National Association of Color Women's Clubs, NACWC Incorporated. We are Women of Integrity chapter. And this was kind of a big thing on that campus because we had never had a women's club, a women of color club on that campus. So I was actually very proud. Me and my fellow um, charter members, there were 10 of us, we started it, go us. And it was just a really great thing. Like no one on campus had ever seen that before. And I just think that Western needed something like that. We needed uplifting of women in general, and you don't have to be a colored woman to join it. So we came out October 2017. And when I say came out, that means we had an induction. Girls were inducted in. Well, we were inducted in, and like people from nationals came down to induct us, and it was a pretty big thing. How did Western realize that? Because when you go through the process of becoming an organization on campus, you get money from the campus. So we got a lot of like, I don't even remember how much money, but you get like maybe a little less than 1,000, maybe like 500 to 1,000. I'm not even sure. I forgot. But you get money from the campus. And when we got inducted, there was nothing in the newspapers. There was nothing on campus. Everything that we did was for us. So we had to do the social media. We had to make sure people knew. We had to get the word around. And of course, there's people that were hating, like, oh, you're trying to be a Greek organization. I wasn't even like that. It says club in our name. We don't haze. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be like, oh, we don't haze either. Okay, yeah, whatever. Long story short, we're just a club. And Western didn't recognize that. We recognize it on paper, yeah. But there was also other times where there were big events. We had Stuff the Bus, and that's when you go around collecting canned food and stuff, and you stuff a bus, and we donate that to charity. And all the organizations on Western's campus were like all the white organizations already like signed up. They already basically Western's campus already knew the white organizations that were going to be there. And for my org, NACWC, we had to literally hunt these people down to make sure my org would get on there. Again, I don't think any white organizations had to do that, hunt people down just to make sure their org was on there. No. But that's something that we had to do. Now, I'm not sure if that's because we're new or if it's because we were just forgotten about. But there were so many times that my org was misspelled or forgotten about, didn't get added. Like, for what? We're a women of color organization. Why are we being forgotten about? I'm pretty sure that wouldn't happen if it was an HBCU. Just saying. So my senior year was a lot of fun too. I worked on campus. I remember I worked at Sabaros at the time, so I was doing pizza and pasta, and we got paid minimum wage, like minimum wage. When I tell you these checks were like $200 to $300, maybe that was nothing. But yeah, so at least I got a job. But I feel like the only reason why I got a job, let me tell you this, is because one of the girls in my org, NECWC, she was the manager. She was student manager, and I had actually applied for this job years prior. I applied my freshman year, I applied my junior year, but nobody looked at my application. I don't even know why. Like, what does that even mean? And I'm not even saying like people are racist. I'm just saying nobody even got back to me. But since my Fed sister, that's what we call them, she was a manager there, student manager, and I'm like, oh my God, I need a job. Like, can I please put in my application? As soon as she heard me, she was like, oh, let me pull your app. Got my application and I was hired within a week. Now, yeah, everyone knows like, oh, she plugged you, blah, blah, blah. But should it take for me to know someone to actually get a job or even get looked at or called back? I don't think so. I don't think so. So that was another thing. And the people that worked there, the people that were full timers and like managers, they were white from what I can remember. Yep, they were mostly white. Student managers were black. A lot of us were black, and I want to say it's because um, the student managers were black, so they were probably hiring their friends, which is good because we need, black people working there. So it was like Einstein's and Sabaros connected. That's what I worked with. So I mean that worked out. That was cool. Um, a lot of people after freshman year of college, drop. But at Western, a lot of black people drop. So it was kind of like a big deal when we graduated and you saw people that you knew graduating with you. So it was like, oh, we made it through together. Like it's a big deal. It's a very big deal, especially at Western. Because a lot of people drop and then they end up living at Western. They live in Macomb and then that's like where they live from now on the college campus and they have kids and it's just like, not my type of lifestyle, but that's okay for them and that's working for them. So overall, I will say that my college experience was great. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of lifelong friends there, and I really learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about other people. I learned a lot about life just in general and how life works. So, my I mean, I obviously would love to experience HBCU because that's like a very different um, vibe, I'll say. It's probably way different vibe and probably another positive vibe. But my PWI, it definitely made me learn a lot about life and a lot about racism and a lot about just life. Another thing. So my major was political science, pre law, and my minor was criminal justice. Now, before it was reversed, I had came in as a criminal justice major, minor in political science. Then I was like, you know what? Let's switch it. I don't want to just be a cop. I want to like do other things in the political realm. So I joined Phi Alpha Delta. It's a law fraternity. And I want to say it was only me and another girl that were women of color. And we ended up going to DC, but it was only for people that were juniors or seniors because they want to get you ready for like law school. And so this DC thing was actually like a Phi Alpha Delta law school like retreat where there was like speakers talking about management of your money and how to get into law school and what tips you should use and how to study for the LSAT. I, for one, my teacher went because it would have been a shit show if she didn't go because we had to take a plane from Peoria to Chicago, then Chicago to DC. So that's like, and we're in college. And if I was the only woman, besides my teacher, I was the only woman and I was the only person of color. My teacher was white, and I went with four other white guys. I had my own room, my teacher had her own room, and each two guys had to share their own room. I look back now and think, how did I survive that? I was the only black person slash person of color of any color on that trip. And they were all Republicans. Now, I'm not saying Republicans are bad. No, I'm not. But it was just weird that I was around that. And I was very, like, I wasn't even into it as much as they were. I didn't know like all the political lingo and every little thing about the government and how stuff works. And I was really just there to get knowledge. It was free. And I wanted to explore more of the law school side and see like what other credentials I'd have to get into law school. But yeah, that was very weird. I was the only person of color and it was strange. It was very strange. Um, Looking back, I probably wouldn't do that again. But like I said, it gave me a lot of learning experience on how to maneuver around people like that. And I definitely wouldn't trade my experience for the world. Western also taught me a lot about money management, financial aid. That's another thing. I was always in the financial aid office. I felt like every semester something was going on. So it definitely taught me a lot about financial aid, how to take care of my responsibilities, how to be on top of things, and manage your money. I met lifelong friends. I've experienced so much, like, we want to say drama, not me personally, but like my friends dealing with certain drama. So it definitely um, gave me a new aspect. I feel like I came out so much smarter, so much refined, so much more mature. And that is my PWI experience. Um, Fun fact, not really fun, but factual. The black president that I was talking about, Jack Thomas, he actually got fired slash resigned slash pushed out. And now they have a white president there. And the last few years that I was there, they're trying to refine Western. So a lot of like bulldozing houses on Adams, and they're trying to like make it up so it's not a party school. But to be honest, that was like one of the big things that Western had because Macomb is in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, after academics and extracurricular activities, what is there really to do? Just sit around and walk on Adams? No. So, if you're thinking about going to Western, I will say, um, do your research. Do your research on other schools. I wouldn't trade my college experience. Like I said, my freshman year, that was like lit. The most lit year I've ever experienced. I don't think I even missed a weekend going out, which probably in hindsight is a bad idea. So don't do that. But I had a really pretty lit year. And since then, it's changed. It's changed dramatically. So that's why I say do your research, go visit the school, see if you like it. Because some people, they might like Western, they can be more focused. I know a lot of people said that. They are more focused because it's out in the country. It's not by like any big cities. So you have to focus on your schoolwork and build relationships there and more opportunity for like scholarships. I don't know. But yeah, do your research. I had a great time. I know a lot of my friends that went there. They loved it and they've met their friends forever and ever. So I hope you liked my PWI story. Please like it, subscribe, turn on my notifications, and don't forget to